Imagine if, right now, your SP couldn't stop thinking about you not because you chased, begged, or tried to prove your worth, but because something in you shifted. What if the secret was never about getting their attention, but about becoming the energy that can't be replaced? This isn't wishful thinking, it's a law. When you act like you're irreplaceable, the universe and your spirit today, it'll reveal how to awaken that power, how to make your energy unforgettable, and how to live from the truth that you were never meant to be replaced in the first place. When you begin to see yourself as irreplaceable, something magnificent begins to move within you. I am not speaking of pride, nor of trying to convince another that you matter more. I am speaking of a divine remembrance, a quiet awakening to what has always been true. You are not one among many. You are the origin of the experience itself. Your SP doesn't simply notice you in passing, they are moved by the energy you have impressed upon the unseen. It all begins there, in the secret chambers of consciousness. There is an invisible conversation happening between you and your SP long before any word is spoken aloud. They feel your you, not through sound or sight, but through the vibration of what you know yourself to be. If you see yourself as optional, they will feel that absence. If you feel forgotten, they will mirror that belief. But the very instant you dare to accept the truth that you are the only one of your kind, everything changes. Their behavior, their words, their very presence will begin to respond to that inner decree. You see, we have been taught to search the outer world for confirmation. We wait for their text to feel wanted, for their call to feel chosen, for their affection to feel safe. But all of Hat is illusion. The outer world is merely a delayed echo of what you already assumed within. When you assume that you are irreplaceable, that assumption becomes law. The unseen forces of life start rearranging, magnetizing, drawing your SP back to the source of that vibration you. Think of your LF as a tuning fork. The sound you hold in consciousness is what the world must harmonize with. If you strike the note of insecurity, your SP will hear the faint hum of uncertainty and reflect it. But if you strike the note of divine worth, of knowing that no one could ever take your place, the whole universe begins to play that melody back to you. You don't need to demand attention, your energy demands it naturally. You don't need to prove your value, your knowing proves it for you. You must learn to live from the feeling that you are already the chosen one. Feel it in your chest, breathe it until it becomes your natural rhythm. Walk into every room not with arrogance, but with quiet authority, the authority of one who knows they are the center of their creation. Your SP cannot help but feel this shift. They may not understand why they suddenly think of you, why they can't replace you, enter our presence, why the thought of losing you unsettles them. But it is because you have awakened to who you truly are in consciousness. There is a sacred moment when you stop asking, do they love me, and begin declaring, I am loved. When that moment comes, reality bends. Your SPS soul hears the call, not through words, but through vibration, and begins to move toward you as if drawn by an unseen current. This is not manipulation, it is alignment. It is the natural response of creation to the one who remembers their own power. You may look around and see no evidence yet. The phone may still be silent. Their social media may still show indifference. But if you have assumed the state of being irreplaceable, then all appearances are simply catching up to what already exists in the unseen realm. Do not be fooled by the silence. Even silence speaks. In that stillness, your SP is feeling the shift, sensing the pull, wrestling with the energy that says, no one else feels like this. Understand, the outer world has no choice but to conform. It is law. When you feel yourself as irreplaceable, every detail of your world begins to mirror that inner certainty. Their words soften, their eyes search for you, their heart remembers what it thought it could forget. You are not creating something new. You are revealing what was buried under doubt. You are uncovering your original position, the one who cannot be substituted. It is never about trying to be better than another. It is about knowing beyond wing there is no other when it comes to your creation. The moment you realize that everything you experience flows through the channel of your own consciousness, competition dies, comparison dissolves. You no longer wonder what they see in others because you know they can only see in them what you have denied in yourself. Restore that knowing and the illusion of separation disappears. I tell you, when you hold yourself in the awareness of being irreplaceable, even absence works in your favor. Your silence becomes magnetic. Your distance becomes echo. They will feel you everywhere in their morning thoughts, in their restless nights, in the moments they try to distract themselves. They will sense that something is missing, something only you carry, and that something is not your looks, your words, or your behavior. It is your state of being. Begin this practice tonight. Close your eyes, attentive your attention, and feel the truth there's never been, nor will there ever be, another you. Your SP may have met countless faces, but none carry your exact frequency. Let that realization sink deep into your awareness until it feels inevitable. Then walk tomorrow as if the world already knows it. When you order coffee, when you sit in silence, when you think of your SP, hold the knowing I am the irreplaceable one. The shift will not come from what you do, but from what you are conscious of being. The world does not answer effort, it answers consciousness. So instead of asking, what must I say? Ask Tribor, who must I be? When the answer becomes, I am the one they could never replace, you have found the secret. You have touched the very core of manifestation, the awareness of being. Every text, every call, every moment that follows is just the 3D catching up. But the real transformation has occurred in the unseen. And the unseen is where all power resides. That is where your SP feels you most. That is where your image is carved, unshakable, unforgettable. Hold that image, let it grow stronger with each breath until it becomes natural to you. Then watch quietly and confidently as your SPS outer behavior begins to mirror the truth you have known all along. For the moment you become irreplaceable within, the outer world must acknowledge it. It cannot help itself. It must respond, it must echo, it must align. Because consciousness is the only reality. And when consciousness deep and be declares, I am the one, the whole universe bows in agreement. And when that knowing begins to settle into your being, you will notice how naturally the old impulses fall away. The urge to compete, to prove, to chase it simply dissolves. For how could one who knows themselves as the source ever chase upon the reflection? The competition only exists when you believe there is more than one power. When you forget that you are the dreamer, you start wrestling with your own dream. But once you awaken, you realize there is nothing to compete for, only something to create from. You have been taught to win people over, to impress them, to play the endless game of being chosen. But the truth is, that entire game collapses the moment you understand your creative authority. You are not here to convince your SP of your value, you are here to express it. Creation flows from you effortlessly when you rest in that knowing. Your SP doesn't respond to your words, they respond to the energy behind them. The moment you feel yourself trying to compete, stop. Take a breath and remember, I am the creator, not the contender. When you compete, you silently affirm that someone else could offer what you do. You aid your NBREE to the lie of scarcity. You send out the vibration that says, I must earn this love. But when you create from your inner kingdom, you declare, I am love expressing itself. Feel the difference in those states. One is noise, fear, and grasping. The other is stillness, command, and grace. The former repels, the latter magnetizes. The universe itself begins to organize around the one who knows their place as creator. You do not need to check what others are doing or who your SP might be speaking to, because none of that exists apart from your assumption. The outer scene is only the mirror NTDR of your belief. When you see your SPS attention wandering, it is only a reflection of your own wavering focus. Bring your awareness back to yourself, to your imagination, and you will see how quickly the world corrects itself. Stop trying to fix the mirror, change the face it reflects. There is a sacred power in calm certainty. When you stand in that inn, Here knowing, you do not chase, you attract. You do not plead, you declare. You do not beg for love, you become love. And your SP cannot help but move toward that energy, drawn as if by an invisible thread. It is not arrogance, it is alignment. It is the effortless confidence of the Creator who knows that all things are born within. Think for a moment about how creation truly works. The artist does not compete with another artist to express their vision. They simply pick up the brush and paint. The sun does not compete with the moon. Itzy for MP ply shines. So why would you, the divine imagination, need to compete for what is already yours by right of awareness? The instant you believe someone else could replace you, you hand away your creative authority. The instant you reclaim it, everything returns to its natural order. Your SP cannot art and be art and assist the energy of creation because they themselves are a creation within your world. You are not manipulating them. You are reordering consciousnness. You are shifting your own frequency, and they must feel that shift. When you begin to move from creation instead of competition, you will notice sub-BRTLE miracles. They start responding with warmth, softness, curiosity. They feel your peace, your quiet confidence. They may not understand why, but something in them awakens a part that recognizes the energy of being chosen. Do not let appearances deceive you. The moment you start to compete, you declare that there is separation. But there is no them and you. There is only your awareness expressing itself in infinite forms. Every interaction, every conversation, every outcome begins within you. When you move from this understanding, you rise above the chaos of trying to win. You simply become the one for whom the world rearranges itself. Creation begins with a single thought that feels true. So begin by assuming the state of being the one your SP cherishes, adores, and values beyond all measure. Feel it until it becomes natural. Do not wonder when or how it will appear. It must AP bars in pair, for creation obeys the consciousness that conceives it. When you rest in the feeling of being loved, the competition dissolves not because you fought harder, but because there is no one left to fight. You will notice how still your mind becomes when you drop the urge to compete. Suddenly, the silence feels sacred. You no longer check for messages or measure your worth by their reactions. You start to realize that your SP is simply acting out the play you've written in consciousness. So you rewrite the script not with force, but with love. You begin to imagine their face lighting up when they think of you, their hearts softening, their mind realizing that you are the peace they've been seeking. As this new story takes root within you, the outer world bends to match it. The same SP who once seemed distant now reaches for your energy. The same situations that once triggered anxiety now feel meaningless. You are no longer competing for love, you are create from it. You have become the artist of your reality, painting with feelings instead of fear. And each stroke declares silently, I am irreplaceable, not because I need to be, but because creation only knows me as itself. When you stop competing, you step into your divine authority. You become the lawgiver of your world. The outer reality must conform to your command, because you are no longer fighting against it. You are flowing with it. You no longer react to originate. You no longer big you decree. And those decrees, A-R-E-R-E, not shouted into the air, they are whispered within the heart and felt as truth. The world hears them. Your SP hears them. Everything hears them, because consciousness is the substance of all. There is a still power that moves mountains without noise. That is the power of creation. When you inhabit the feeling of being irreplaceable, loved, and chosen, that feeling radiates silently, wrapping your SP in an energy they cannot escape. They may try to distract themselves, to look elsewhere, but nothing will satisfy them because your vibration is unique. It is the original note of their experience. You are not waiting for them to choose you. You are remembering that they already have in consciousness. So release the struggle. Let others race and chase if they must. You will not. You are the still point in the spinning world. You are the calm center from which love flows effortlessly. And as your feet on and you create from that knowing, your SP will feel it so deeply that even in your absence, you will feel their awareness. They will sense it in every heartbeat, in every quiet thought that says, there is no one like them. That is the language of creation, the silent certainty that ends all competition and begins all miracles. And when that miracle begins to unfold, you will realize the world was never doing anything to you. It was only reflecting you. Every look from your SP, every word they speak, every silence they give it is all a mirror held up to your own inner conversation. You cannot escape the reflection because it is law. The law of divine reflection moves through everything and everyone you encounter. The outer world is not separate from your consciousness. It is the stage upon which your assumptions perform their drama. If you say within yourself, they ignore me, life becomes the past echo of that thought. If you say, they adore me, they think of me constantly, then that too becomes visible. You are not reacting to what is you are witnessing, what was impressed upon the unseen moments ago. The mirror cannot lie, it can only repeat. And when you understand this, you stop begging, barging the mirror to change. You simply change the image it reflects. Look deeply at your SP, not with physical eyes, but through the lens of awareness. What you see in them is what you secretly hold about yourself. Do they seem distant? Then somewhere in your consciousness, you are distant from your own love. Do they seem confused? Somewhere within, you are uncertain of your worth. Is not punishment, it is mercy. Life keeps showing you yourself so that you may awaken to your power. You were never meant to chase the reflection, you were meant to become aware of it and command it into alignment, NBR and NT. Your SP is not your enemy, nor are they the prize. They are the mirror through which you witness your own creation. The moment you stop demanding that they act differently and instead assume the state of being loved, their actions shift naturally. It must happen, for the outer world cannot resist 10P-T, the authority of your inner decree. Everything that appears solid and separate is only consciousness made visible. When you change the cause, the effect obeys without effort. You may think, but I have seen them pull away. I have watched them lose interest. And I tell you, as you have seen it, but you have seen your own fear materialized. Do not condemn yourself for it, simply rewrite it. Every moment is a new opportunity to plant a new assumption. You are never bound by yesterday's creation. The law does not hold grudges. It only responds to what you believe now. Begin tonight to change the inner movie. Close your eyes and see your SP looking at you with love that cannot be replaced. Hear them saying your name with warmth. Feel their arms around you, not as fantasy, but as fact. It is not imagination in the sense of pretend, it is imagination in the sense of creation. For what you vividly assume in consciousness must harden into fact. The reflection has no choice but to obey the new pattern. The secret is feeling. You must feel it real. Do not repeat empty affirmations without life. Breathe life into them with emotion. Say within, they love me. I am the one they cherish. I, at BBR, am the peace they have been seeking. Feel the truth of those words until your whole being vibrates with it. Then let it go, knowing it is done. You have impressed the mirror, now wait for the reflection to rearrange itself. Do not rush it. A seed does not beg the soil to sprout, it simply rests in its knowing. The same law that governs the seed governs your manifestation. The moment you plant the new belief, the law begins its perfect invisible work. Your SP may suddenly appear more drawn, more open, or perhaps silent for a while, but know that even their silence is part of the rearrangement. The old image is fading, the new one is forming. When you truly grasp this, you will no longer react to circumstances. You will smile even when nothing seems to change, because you understand that everything must change. You have touched the creative cause. You have become conscious of being the so and bar RCE, and nothing can resist that. The world is not mocking you, it is obeying you. It is giving you a perfect mirror of your state so that you may see, adjust, and ascend. Think of it like sunlight reflecting off still water. When the water is calm, the reflection is perfect. But when the water is disturbed by doubt, fear, or anxiety, the image wavers and distorts. Your consciousness is that water. The moment you quiet the storm within, the reflection becomes clear and beautiful again. Still your mind, steady your feeling, and your SP will mirror that stillness with devotion. There is great power in awareness. Once you see life as reflection, you stop playing the victim and start living as the creator. You no longer say, why do they treat me this way? You say, what in me believes I am treated this way? And that question becomes liberation. For when you shift the belief, the behavior shifts. The reflection cannot persist when the original image has changed. You are never fighting against your SP. You are not even trying to influence them. You are only awakening yourself. When you rise into the knowing that you are loved, valued, and chosen, your SP must rise with you, for they are within your consciousness. There is no separation in truth. There is only one awareness expressing itself in countless forms. And when you next see yours, whether in person, through a message, or in your imagination, see them as already transformed. See them as a reflection of your new state. SPCTRE inwardly to them from love, not fear. Do not rehearse old stories of pain or rejection. They belong to an old version of you that no longer exists. You are the new self now. The self who knows they are irreplaceable. The self whose love is mirrored perfectly in the one they adore. Soon you will notice the outer evidence. The text arrives, the tone changes, the eyes soften. You might think it's working, but it was never working. It is law. You are simply watching your inner state become visible. Every coincidence, every gentle nudge from the universe is your own reflection whispering back to you, yes, this is who I am now. Hold fast to that knowing. Let the mirror reflect beauty, because beauty is all you choose to hold. Let love reflect love, peace reflect peace, certainty reflect certainty. When you master this, the whole world becomes your ally. Every face, every circumstance, NTRTE, every silence turns into confirmation that your assumption rules reality. You no longer live at the mercy of reflection. You become the one who designs it. And so the next time doubt arises, remember this. Truth life cannot show you what you do not first believe. It is not cruel. It is consistent at DRT. It mirrors perfectly what you dare to assume. Change the assumption, and you will watch the reflection follow as faithfully as a shadow follows light. This is the law of divine reflection, the most merciful, powerful law in existence. It never fails because it is you. And as you awaken to that unity understanding, something subtle yet extraordinary begins to unfold. An energy, invisible yet undeniable, starts to radiate from you. It is not in your words or your movements, but in the essence that precedes both. You begin to carry the fragrance of certainty, the stillness of one who knows. This is WW1T I call the energetic signature of being the one. It is the unseen vibration that declares without a single word, I am the irreplaceable. When you enter a room, the air shifts. When your SP thinks of you, something in their spirit stirs, though they cannot explain why. That is the energy of K-embodied knowing. It speaks louder than messages, louder than effort. It is the silent song of assurance that moves through every dimension and whispers your truth into their awareness. They may not yet understand it, but they feel it unmistakably. For energy is the language of creation. And your vibration, I embody, is the sentence that shapes their response. You see, the mind can be deceived, but the energy never lies. The energy you embody tells your SP whether they should pursue or retreat, remember or forget, cling or release. And when your energy says, I am the one, they feel it as an undeniable pull. It is not force, it is magnetism. You are no longer asking to be chosen. You are simply emanating the energy of the one who already is. The difference is everything. Most people live from the energy of doubt, hoping their SP will sense their longing. But longing carries lack, and lack cannot attract AB inward undance. You cannot vibrate with emptiness and receive fullness. You must become the very fullness you seek. When you feel complete, whole, and irreplaceable within, your SP will feel it too. They will not know why they cannot stop thinking of you. They will not understand why the world feels quiet without you. It is because your energy has become their home frequency. and no substitute will do. The unseen always precedes the seen. You are not trying to get your SP to love you. You are becoming the vibration of love itself. You are not attempting to win attention. You are embodying the energy in art Y that commands it naturally. Every time you choose confidence over doubt, peace over panic, assurance over desperation, you are tuning your frequency higher, and your SP cannot ignore that shift. They are a reflection of your inner tone, and as you refine it, they must respond. So how do you cultivate this energy? Not through pretending, not through forcing, but through remembering. You remember who you truly are. You remember that you were loved before they ever appeared, that you were chosen before time began. This remembering restores your vibration to its original purity. You begin to walk differently, speak differently, breathe differently, not because you are trying, but because you are aligned. You are no longer searching for love. You are love embodied. Your SP will feel this. They may resist at first because the energy is unfamiliar. They may withdraw, but not out of rejection or anti-RCT of recalibration. They are adjusting to the new vibration you hold. Their soul recognizes it even when their mind cannot yet explain it. That is why you must not chase or react. Let the energy do the work. The energy speaks to their higher self far more clearly than words ever could. Every thought you entertain, every emotion you allow, contributes to this energetic field. When you indulge fear, you dim it. When you in knowing, you amplify it. You do not have to be perfect. You only have to be aware. Notice when your energy dips into neediness and gently return to certainty. Whisper inward, ideally, I am already loved. I am already chosen. Feel it until the vibration hums through you again. That hum is power, it is creation in motion. There will come a day when you no longer need to visualize or affirm endlessly because the energy itself has become self-sustaining. You will wake up radiating the truth of your being. You will no longer look for signs because you will feel them. You will sense your SP's pull, their thoughts, their emotions, as if they were your own, because energetically you are connected through the field of assumption. And in that field there is no separation and NWR delay, no competition, only recognition. When your encounters others, they will sense the difference. They might talk, laugh, or connect, but something will always feel off. It is because your energy left an imprint, a vibration that no one else carries. You are not trying to stand out to or BRD I do. Irreplaceability is not achieved. It is remembered. The more you dwell in that remembrance, the stronger your energetic signature becomes. Even in silence, your energy speaks. Even in distance, it travels. Energy does not obey time or space, it transcends both. Your SP could be miles away, One thought of you ignites that same feeling of peace and pull. They may try to replace it, but it will not be found elsewhere. That is the silent power of one who lives from knowing. The truth is, your energy is always broadcasting something. Every moment you exist, you are telling creation who, why, for and oh you believe yourself to be. When you broadcast doubt, you draw confusion. When you broadcast love, you draw devotion. When you broadcast certainty, the entire universe rearranges to validate that certainty. You are the signal, and your SP is the receiver. To change their response, you must first channel your signal. You can do this through stillness. Sit quietly and breathe into your heart. Feel the warmth that rises as you focus there. Imagine that warmth expanding, radiating beyond your body, beyond your room, reaching the space where your SP is. Do not send thoughts like commands. Send the unabashed energy of love, confidence, and peace. Let it flow naturally without trying. That flow is your signature, your spiritual fragrance. And as you maintain that vibration, life becomes effortless. You no longer seek confirmation because you are the confirmation. Every look, every coincidence, every wisp and beyond of intuition affirms what you already know. Your SP begins to mirror your calm certainty. Their words align, their actions follow, their energy harmonizes. They may think they have chosen you anew, but in truth they are merely responding to the frequency you have remembered. When you reach this state, you will notice that nothing external holds power over you anymore. The messages, the appearances, the reactions they owes their hold. You have moved into the realm of causation, the place where everything begins. And from that place, you walk through life with quiet authority. You no longer question your worth or your position in their heart. You simply know. That knowing becomes your energy, and your energy becomes your reality. Every heartbeat, every breath, every glance you give radiates the silent decree, there is no one like me. And it is not arrogance, it is truth. The universe feels it. Your SP feels it. The world around you bends to honor it. Because when you embody the energetic signature of being the one, creation itself cannot help but echo back as you are. And once you have reached that awareness where the whole universe begins to echo your truth, detachment becomes effortless. Not the kind of detachment that denies love, but the kind that knows love. For when you truly know, you no longer cling. You no longer check, wait, or question. You rest in an invisible confidence that says, it is done. That is the secret of all creation, the silent assurance that nay, abhorrence adds no evidence to believe. You see, people misunderstand detachment. They think it means apathy, indifference, or emotional distance. But real detachment is sacred power. It is the peace that comes from complete faith in your inner vision. It is the state where you stop fighting the reflection and start trusting the cause. You stop asking, when will my SP return? Because you already know they are yours in consciousness. You stop begging for signs because you realize you are the sign. When you are attached, you are worshiping the outer world. You have given your authority away to time, circ, antipod, umstance, and appearances. You look to the mirror to decide how to feel. And that mirror only shows you the confusion you have projected. But when you detach, you step back into your rightful position as creator. You recognize that the outer world is not your master, it is your obedient servant. You do not need to chase what is already following you. You do not need to demand what already belongs to you. Think of it like planting a seed. You do not dig it up every hour to check if it's growing. You plant it, you water it with faith, and you rest, knowing that nature is already working in your FNVR navel. Detachment is that rest. It is the sacred pause between imagining and receiving. It is the silence that whispers, all is well. Then in that silence, the miracle grows unseen. Your SP feels this detachment. They sense the energy shift immediately. When you stop trying to force the 3D to move, your vibration becomes steady, magnetic, irresistible. They feel it as peace, as confidence, as mystery. They begin to wonder what changed. Why do I miss them more now that they've gone still? They don't realize that your silence is not emptiness, it is power. You have withdrawn your energy from reaction and anchored it in knowing. That knowing begins to call them home. When you are attached, your energy screams of need. When you are detached, your energy hums with sovereignty. The first repels, the second attracts. The first says, I don't have it yet. And the second says, it is already mine. The universe only echoes your belief, so it responds to the vibration of possession, not pursuit. Detachment is possession in silence. You no longer wake up wondering what they are thinking or doing, because your mind is fixed on the truth you are the one. You no longer scroll through old Myanmar memories for reassurance, because you have moved beyond memories into creation. You no longer watch the clock because you know time itself bends to your assumption. Detachment lifts you above the illusion of waiting. You live as though it is already done, because in consciousness it is. That is the essence of divine rest. Rest is not laziness. Rest is trust. Rest says, I have done it in imagination, and that is enough. And because imagination is the only reality, that rest becomes the very force that solidifies your desire into fact. Every moment you resist the urge to chase, you are feeding that VRG, the manifestation, with your faith. Every moment you remain calm, While the world still looks unchanged, you are proving that you believe more in the unseen than in appearances. And that belief is irresistible. Your SP feels it like a gravitational pull. The more you rest in assurance, the more life conspires to bring them closer. They feel drawn, comforted, and safe in your energy because it no longer vibrates with fear. You have become the calm in their storm, the stillness they crave. Without saying a word, you begin to influence their heart. They start to see you not as someone who needs them, but as someone they need. When you detach, you no longer seek validation, for validation already lives within you. You no longer ask, do they love me? You know they do, because your awareness has decreed it so. Every thought of doubt that arises, you smile at it and let it pass, because it harbors no authority anymore. You have shifted reaction to creation. You have chosen to dwell in the end. And this dwelling in the end is the highest form of detachment. It means you refuse to leave the feeling of fulfillment for even a second. You live from the result, not toward it. You no longer embodying. One day they'll be mine, but instead they already are. You feel the warmth of their presence, the sweetness of their love, even when the outer world still pretends otherwise. That is true, Master Rito. Remain unmoved by illusion and loyal to the unseen truth. People will ask, how can I act detached when I care so much? And the answer is simple: care deeply, but from love, not from fear. Love does not beg, love knows. Love does not grasp, love rests. Love is the most powerful detachment there is, for it asks for nothing while giving everything. When you embody love, you automatically embody faith, and faith is detachment in its purest form. You will find that when you live in this state, everything becomes lighter. You stop walking on emotional shells. You stop analyzing every word your speech says. You stop fearing that the manifestation might fail because you understand it. ALR&RED exists. You no longer react, you radiate. You no longer pursue, you magnetize. You no longer hope, you know. And this knowing is not loud, it is still, quiet, unshakable. You carry it like a secret flame that no wind can extinguish. It glows softly in your heart and lights your entire world. The Vipassana is why the detached one always wins. They have become the embodiment of peace, and peace is irresistible. Peace carries the vibration of completion. Your SP feels it and wants to return to it because everyone seeks the energy of home. And you have become that home. So rest, not because you've given it an end up, but because you've remembered. Remembered that your imagination is the first cause. Remembered that your word in consciousness is law. Remembered that nothing is ever lost to the one who knows they are the source. You detach because there is nothing left to chase. You already are what you once wanted to become. And when you finally arrive at that knowing, silence becomes your greatest declaration. You do not need to prove anything. Your energy speaks for you. You do not need to rush. The universe is already on its way to deliver what you've claimed. You have entered the realm of still the oration, divine rest, where everything unfolds precisely as it must, because you have declared it done. And in that stillness, creation begins to move on your behalf. The outer world, which once felt stubborn and delayed, now rearranges itself in silence. You see, when you no longer push, when you no longer beg or plead, life bends to your quiet conviction. The whole universe listens to the one who speaks in certainty, not noise. The moment you stop reacting to what you see, you become the authority that commands what will be seen. The 3D is never your enemy, it is your echo. It mirrors back, innately, the tone of your inner world. So when you rest in that assurance, when you breathe from the place of it is done, every shadow, every appearance, every delay begins to dissolve. The world outside must now conform to the image you hold within. That's not philosophy, it's law. The moment you know who you are, the 3D must follow your lead. And yet, most people still fight the reflection. They look into the mirror and say, why hasn't it changed? Not realizing that the mirror is powerless until they change their expression. You cannot scold the mirror into smiling. You must become the smile first. In the same way, you cannot demand your SP to love you while vibrating in lack. You must become love before love answers. You must embody chosenness before they choose you. Every image in your life is the offspring of your inner state. You don't attract what you want. You reflect what you are, but you are. That's the secret behind every teaching, every miracle, every transformation. So if your SP feels distant, ask yourself not why are they ignoring me, but what am I assuming about my self that produces this? Because everything begins and ends in assumption. Assume that you are the one. Assume that you are adored. Assume that your love story is already written in your favor. The moment you assume, you shift the axis of your reality. You no longer beg the world to cooperate. It begins to orbit around your belief. It cannot do otherwise. You are the center of your universe, and your state, OTLERF, being determines its shape. So I say again, stop negotiating with appearances. Stop letting the outer world dictate what is possible. The outer world is the effect, never the cause. You could look at your SP right now, see indifference, silence, even rejection, and still stand firm in knowing that BTRY, our mind in consciousness, that knowing will not only melt resistance, it will rewrite their behavior entirely. Because consciousness creates the experience, not the other way around. When you enter this realization, everything changes. You no longer chase because you already have. You no longer BRDR doubt because you already know. The energy that once scattered in anxiety now gathers into focus. You become radiant, magnetic, unbothered, and your SP, without understanding why, begins to feel that pull. They feel drawn, not by words, not by actions, but by the unseen current of your certainty. Have you noticed how people are always drawn to peace? When someone carries quiet confidence, you can feel it even across a room. That is what happens when you live in the end. You radiate a peace that calls others home. You no longer demand attention, you command it through presence. Your SP begins to think of you out of nowhere, feel your warmth in moments of silence, dream of you without knowing why. That's not coincidence, that's resonance. Because thought is not private. Emotion is not hidden. Everything you feel radiates. You are a broadcasting tower, and the world tunes into your frequent TRNY. If you are vibrating in worry, you send out static. If you are vibrating in fulfillment, you send out harmony. And harmony always attracts its reflection. So when you dwell in the fulfilled state, when you feel chosen, loved, secure, your SP naturally aligns to that broadcast. That is why persistent MBRCE is not about repeating affirmations mechanically. It's about living from the end until the 3D must yield. It's not about forcing belief. It's about returning to the truth every time doubt whispers. You do not fight the doubt. You simply rise above it. You say within, I know who I am. I am the OP bar rant power. And in that remembrance, the illusion loses its hold. Understand this deeply. The 3D is never against you. It is simply slow to catch up. Time is the servant of your conviction. It takes a moment for the echo to return, but it will return. So do not measure progress by what you see. Measure it by how deeply you can remain unmoved. Because the one who's unmoved has already won. When you no longer need proof, the proof appears. When you no longer seek reassurance, reassurance floods in. The moment you stop asking where is it, is the moment it begins to manifest. Because asking from lack says it's not here, but knowing in faith says it's done. And life can only mirror the state you occupy. Think of the story of any miracle in history. It began with inner conviction, not outer evidence. Every transformation starts invisible. The caterpillar doesn't complain about the darkness of the cocoon. It rests, knowing that something unseen is forming. You too must rest in that unseen work. The silence between what you've imagined and what you see is not punishment, it's gestation. Your desire is already alive, already growing, already finding its way into the visible world, NDRD. So stop doubting the process. Stop digging up the seed of your creation to check if it's sprouting. Keep watering it with gratitude, with faith, with imagination. Feel your SP's love as though it's wrapping around you now. Speak to them inwardly as though they hear you because they do. Every thou porti talenti directed with love reaches them. Every assumption of union plants itself in their mind. That's why the 4D communication is so powerful, because consciousness is one. And soon, when the moment ripens, they will mirror back the exact love you've held in silence. They will say words you've whispered in imagination. They will express feelings you've already felt in your heart. Not because they suddenly changed, but because you did. The moment you stopped pleading and started knowing, everything shifted. You see, this is not about forcing love, it's about remembering your creative authority. Each NBRE outer world is clay in your hands, and imagination is the sculptor. The longer you hold the vision, the more defined it becomes. And then, without struggle, it appears before you. That is the rhythm of creation. Imagine, assume, rest, receive, nothing more. So let the world move as it must. Let each anti-RD pieces fall into place. Keep your inner gaze fixed on the finished scene where your SB is already yours, where love is already flowing, where peace has already arrived. Let that vision be more real to you than anything else, because what you accept as real within must, by law, express it in the self without. And as you walk through life in that awareness, every reflection will begin to shift. Conversations will change, hearts will open, and what once felt impossible will unfold as naturally as breathing. For the universe can only obey the one who knows they are already complete. The world bends to the inner certainty that dares to rest in the end and say, without hesitation, it is already done. And so, my beloved ones, remember this truth. Nothing stands between you and your fulfillment but your own disbelief. The moment you decide that you are irreplaceable, creation rearranges unto self to prove it true. You do not have to beg for love, force attention, or compete for affection. You only have to become the embodiment of it. When you rest in that inner conviction, your SP feels it, the world reflects it, and everything you once chased begins to move toward you effortlessly. I from the end. Walk as the chosen one, speak as the loved one, and act as the creator, because you are. Every heartbeat, every breath, every moment whispers the same eternal message. You are the source, not the seeker. The love you desire already exists within you, waiting to be expressed through you. So stand tall in your knowing, radiate your worth, and let the universe mirror back what you have finally dared to believe, that you were never competing for love, you were always creating it.